The cafe was filled with the soft hum of chatter and the smell of fresh pastries, but at the corner table sat a girl staring at her untouched drink, her hands resting motionless on her lap. Her name was Lily. 19, quiet and deaf, she was used to silence, but not the kind that followed a broken heart. Her phone screen still glowed with the message that shattered her day. "You're amazing, but I can't do this. I need someone I can talk to easily." She blinked hard, trying to stop the tears. From falling, the noise around her faded. Though she couldn't hear it, her heart could feel it. The movement of laughter, the vibration of cups against tables. She wanted to disappear, but couldn't move. Then her pen rolled off the table and stopped at someone's boot. A man bent down, picked it up and placed it on the table. His voice gentle, but his eyes kinder. "You dropped this." Lily nodded awkwardly, but before she could type a thank you on her phone, the man raised his hands and began to sign. "Are you okay?" Her eyes widened in surprise. She signed back, sign language. He smiled. "My son is deaf, I learned for him." She looked over and saw a small boy drawing superheroes on napkins at the next table. The boy looked up, waved and signed. "Hello," Lily smiled back for the first time that day. The man studied her expression for a moment, then signed slowly. "Whoever made you sad doesn't deserve to be part of your story." She hesitated, then signed. He said he couldn't handle silence. The man nodded. "Then he never understood that silence can speak too." She frowned. "And what does mine say?" He smiled gently. "It says you are perfect, just the way you are." Lily blinked, uncertain if she should smile or cry, her heart heavy, yet slowly thawing. Daniel, the man across from her, just waited, his hands still mid-air, his eyes kind and patient. No one had ever looked at her that way. Not with pity, not with curiosity, but with quiet respect. She finally signed, "You really think I'm perfect?" He nodded, his movements slow and steady. "My son taught me that perfect doesn't mean without flaws. It means someone who doesn't give up on being kind, even when life isn't kind back." She looked down at her cup, tracing the rim before signing. "You're good." At this he chuckled softly. "I'm just a dad who listens." With his eyes she smiled, then signed. "I wish more people did." He tilted his head. "They can if you teach them, but you can't wait for them to try first." At that moment, his son tugged on his sleeve, showing a napkin with a drawing of 3 stick figures holding hands under a big yellow sun. The words "Friends Forever" scribbled below it. Daniel laughed and signed to his son, "You made new friends fast, huh?" The boy nodded proudly and signed, "She's nice." Then looked at Lily and added, "You draw too." Lily's face brightened. She opened her sketchbook, showing him her drawings, delicate sketches of hands forming different signs. The boy grinned wide, signing "Beautiful," and she laughed silently, covering her mouth. Daniel watched them both, something warm stirring in his chest. It had been years since he'd seen his son so open with someone new. As the cafe emptied, Daniel signed, "I think we'll see you here again, won't we?" Lily smiled for real, this time her hands moving gracefully. "Maybe tomorrow I owe your son a drawing lesson." He smiled. "Then I guess we'll be back." As they left, she touched her sketchbook and whispered to herself, "Though no one could hear, thank you for seeing me." The next morning, Lily returned to the cafe, her heart lighter than the day before. She chose the same corner seat by the window. Sketching quietly, the smell of coffee and cinnamon felt like comfort. This time, not loneliness. She didn't notice Daniel walk in until his son Noah waved from across the room, grinning. She waved back shyly. Daniel approached with 2 cups of hot chocolate, setting one in front of her. He signed, "Thought you could use a refill." She smiled, signing, "You remembered my order." Nodded. "Of course, artists need fuel." She laughed silently, shaking her head as Noah climbed onto the chair beside her, showing another drawing, this one of 3 people holding hands under a giant sun, the word "family" written at the top. Lily's chest tightened with warmth. "This is beautiful." She signed. Noah's grin stretched wide. "It's us." Daniel watched her reaction, his eyes soft. "You've already become his favorite person." He signed. She smiled. "And his drawings make my day." He leaned forward, his fingers steady. "I told him, real heroes don't wear capes, they just keep being kind." Her cheeks flushed. "And what did he say?" Daniel smiled. "He said then she must be one." The 3 of them spent the afternoon together, drawing, laughing and talking, with their hands every gesture smooth and full of meaning. For the first time, Lily didn't feel like the deaf girl in the corner. She felt like she belonged. Daniel caught her looking out the window, smiling to herself, and signed, "What are you thinking?" About she looked at him. That maybe silence isn't empty after all, maybe it's just waiting for the right voice to fill it. He nodded slowly, and maybe that voice doesn't need sound at all. A few weeks later, the cafe had become their place. Lily came every morning with her sketchbook, and Daniel and Noah always joined her, their silent conversations flowing easier than words ever could. One afternoon, sunlight poured through the window, catching the golden edges of her hair as she helped. Noah traced new signs in his notebook. He looked up beaming. "I love you," he signed clumsily. She smiled wide, signing it back, and Daniel's heart caught in his chest watching the two of them after Noah ran to the counter for cookies. Daniel leaned closer. "Signing, you've changed him," she frowned me. "He nodded before you. He never wanted to sign in public. Now he can't stop." She looked down shyly. "Maybe he just needed someone who understood." Daniel smiled. "Maybe we both did." Outside, the sky was turning pink. Noah returned proudly holding 3 cookies and split them perfectly into equal pieces. Lily laughed silently, her shoulders shaking. Daniel watched her, then signed softly, "You know, when I saw you that first day, you looked like you were trying to disappear." She nodded. "I was," he replied. "I'm glad you didn't." She looked at him, eyes bright. "You reminded me that I'm not broken." He shook his head. "You were never broken. You just needed someone who listened differently." She smiled. "And you taught me that silence can heal." As evening light spilled across the cafe, they sat together, hands brushing slightly, the world outside fading away. Noah giggling between them. Daniel signed one last thing, his movements slow and certain. "You are perfect, Lily. Always were, always will be." She reached for his hand, her reply simple and sure, "And you made me believe it." They stayed there until the lights dimmed, their laughter quiet but full of meaning. Proof that love doesn't need sound to be heard, only hearts willing to listen. If this story made you smile, share it with someone who needs a reminder that accidents can turn into beautiful beginnings.